As yesterday, as part of our top story, we highlighted how the Indian Olympic Association is planning to send 30 officials to the Asian Games on a junket which will be fully sponsored by the IOA. The total cost of the junket will be around 50 lakh rupees. And now the Sports Ministry has reacted very strongly against the IOA. A senior Sports Ministry official has been quoted by the Press Trust of India as saying, why should the IOA fund officials who have no work and are going on a paid holiday? They should rather use the money for sports promotion and athletes, unquote. The official went on to add, and I quote, instead of sponsoring junkets, IOA should focus on putting its financial details on its website. The public should know their source of income. None of the federations have bothered to furnish the details, unquote. Now, what makes IOA's decision to send delegates on a junket even worse is the fact that this is being done at a time when the Sports Ministry has reduced the number of athletes, coaches and managers travelling to insured in a bid to save costs. Now, we spoke to Vice President of the IOA, Mr. Tarlochan Singh, yesterday, and this is the defence he came up with. The most obvious question, in times when there is no money to send athletes and in some cases coaches or managers, where is the need to spend so much on officials to send them to the Asian Games?
You see, this is not the first time. Every time Asian Games are held, the federation representative, either president, secretary, they do go. This is not an unusual thing. And they are very helpful to the teams because after all, for years, the federations, they play a role in preparation of the team for the games. Naturally, they are there, they are helpful, they encourage them, they look after all other, and especially when the managers are not there. So they also do that job. And IOA has not at all done any wrong.
Why did you not announce these names earlier? Many would say you were scared of the Sports Ministry and their tough guidelines. Just as, they've reduced the number of managers and athletes, coaches, they would have denied you permission to send administrators as well. And you were scared of that.
No. IO need not take permission of the Sports Ministry for that purpose. This IO is an independent body. They take their own decision. So they are not supposed to get permission.
Sir, for all your explanations, that these officials, will help athletes, that's what you say. We all know what happened last time in Glasgow where 2 officials embarrassed the country by being arrested, sir.
Everybody is aware what appeared in the media. Later on, it was proved that they were wrong confinement and the police withdrew the case. So that is finished there.
All right, that was Mr. Tarlochan Singh, the Vice President of the Indian Olympic Association. Joining us on the show right now is Gigi Thompson. He is the Director General of Sports Authority of India, a body that comes under the Sports Ministry. Mr. Thompson, I'm sure you heard Mr. Singh there. He said that the IOA is an autonomous body and the Sports Ministry can't really tell them who to send as part of the delegation to the Asian Games. Do you buy that argument?
No, see, they are not sending, they are sending some delegates. That's what I understand. If they want to send some delegates, who are we to stop them? But they can't send a athlete or a supporting staff without Government of India's permission.
Right. So you make the distinction between delegates and officials, but we heard Mr. Tarlochan Singh clearly say these delegates will also double up as officials. So it's a clear case of delegates masquerading as officials then for the Asian Games.
Yeah, as far as we are concerned, we know clearly the number of athletes and the number of officials. Officials means coaches, and the supporting staff.
All right. So what you're trying to say is you're not too bothered about the delegates. That's IOA's prerogative. But a lot of managers reduced from the list. And if they have been reduced and you've reduced those managers, if they've been reduced, then why not have the same standards for officials as well? Why don't you bother about them as well?
You see, we are concerned about the number of athletes and officials going to Asia. So we have decided to bring down the number of managers in cases where it is not required. We feel that it is an extra burden. So wherever it is very much required, okay, we made a mistake, we would have missed out in some places, that we are ready to change. We have changed. We have added another, I think, 6 managers or so in the last few days. because we were told that in certain games you require to have one or two managers. That we have agreed. So generally, that doesn't mean that every game should have 2 managers, 2 coaches, 2 support staff, 3 masseurs, and like that, you know.
Okay, so you're clearly making a distinction between delegates and managers. You're just bothered about managers and athletes, not about delegates. But you should be bothered, sir, because the last time delegates went, which were not part of the contingent, delegates that were sent by the IOA to Glasgow, 2 of them got arrested. That embarrasses the entire country. As part of the Sports Authority of India, should you not screen even the delegates that the IOA is sending?
You know, that would be too much to ask for. You know, we have only requested them to restrict the number of delegates, but they are not acting as officials. You know, there may be some senior people who would like to represent the federation in an international event. And we are not concerned about it. If they indulge in some malpractices and get into problems, then that is a different matter. That will be handled separately.
So clearly the size stake and the sports ministry stake is very different on this matter, because we just quoted a senior official in the sports ministry saying that they shouldn't be sending as many delegates as they are. Now, so the other issue is federations not furnishing finances on websites, which is a must. You know, the sports ministry have made it clear you should have all your finances on your website. Despite that, the sports bodies, the national sports bodies haven't been transparent with their finances. The national federations haven't paid any heed to that. Are you not worried about this then?
Yeah, we are, because you see, these are all organizations who are responsible to the people of this country. Because this is a public organization. Just as I am responsible, they are also responsible. So just as my accounts are made public, their accounts also needs to be made public. The people of this country has got every right to know how this money is being spent. So any responsible federation will definitely, you know, be open, be transparent, and they will be ready to put their accounts in public domain. If they are not doing it, then that only goes to show that there's something to hide.
Okay, so you are very worried about this transparency that you say, but what if no correction is made by the national federations on this front? What would you do?
You want me to tell you all the steps which we want to take? Why should I bear all my cards?
So the reason I want you to tell us what you're going to do is because, you know, you've just said that the IOA is an autonomous body. They can send whichever delegates they want. What if the IOA tells you tomorrow we are an autonomous body? Why should we furnish any sort of account details in public on the website?
No. They are a public body. There is a rule in this country, and we are all duty bound to follow the rules laid down in this country.